Good afternoon. Wayne Taylor and Mike Richardson here again for another episode of There's Something About Mashpee. Today we're going to spend a few minutes with Captain Laurent, the director of the DPW, and give you folks a little bit of information about what she does and how the DPW works for the town of Mashpee.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We just tell us a little bit about yourself. What brought you to Mashpee? What was your background?
Well, my education is as a chemical engineer, and I lived in Chatham and worked in Chatham, and was hired to be assistant director here in Mashpee about 12 years ago.
Absolutely, very good.
Go ahead, Wayne.
We have a storm coming, Catherine, as you know, and just kind of give the people a feel for what it takes for you and the equipment and so on that we need to get on the roads to help make those roads safe.
Well, here in my department, there are a total of about 35 workers, about 20 of them that would be out plowing for us. We also hire 10 contractors to assist. The town plows all roads in Mashpee, whether they're public or private, as long as they meet certain minimum conditions. That amounts to about 150 miles of road that we're responsible for each winter. We have plow trucks, we have sand trucks, so today we obviously are getting all of the trucks ready to hit the road later tonight, early tomorrow morning when we get the call that the storm has arrived.
Okay. So 150 miles of roads, I mean, that's an enormous number of miles of roads for a small town. But there's other things that you folks do besides plowing and sanding roads. So give us a broad description of exactly what we can count on the DPW doing on a day-to-day basis.
Sure, and it really varies seasonally. Mike, this time of year, yes, most of our work is spent dealing with winter storms, but we actually are starting to get into the spring season where we're getting athletics fields ready for play, whether it's at the high school or at Heritage Park where our youth leagues play. Getting the mowers ready for once the grass does green up and start to grow. We have a few minor road projects that we have on the schedule for this coming spring. Most of our road construction we do either in early spring, mid-spring, and fall, just because obviously in the summer we have a lot of people around and can't really get out on the road. My department's also responsible for all of the town buildings, the 3 schools, as well as police, fire, library, town hall, all of the other buildings that the town owns. So that includes maintenance not only of the structure themselves, but also of the grounds for each building. Beaches, parks, all of that really falls under my department. Cemetery, so transfer station.
No, but we're talking about the town of Mashpee, which is about 10,000 homes, I guess, and up to 30,000 in the summertime. And I guess what you folks do for everybody in town, and that's why we're talking about it, is lights, street lights, and stop signs, and road signs, and sidewalks. Mm-hmm. So it's not just a matter of making sure that the roads are plowed, or not just a matter of making sure that we can find where we're going, but it's a lot larger.
It is.
What's the size of Mashpee? Do you have any idea what the size of Mashpee is? Is it a geographical territory that you response? 150 roads?
Right, 150 roads, but those include some private roads that we only do snow plowing. But, fields, we have over 20 acres of fields. You throw in, all of the town properties and you're probably adding another, 10 acres of property. Snow plowing, yes. Roadside trash. I mean, we're out there picking up trash, multiple times during the year. Picking up trash at the beaches and at the parks. Like you said, responsible for the street lights, the street signs, the traffic lights. All of that falls under DPW.
Yeah, I know that you've also volunteered quite a bit. I mean, you helped out with the parade and getting a float ready for us. I know that you're very concerned with picking up the trash that's in the conservation areas as well. And I think the last time you trucked out, I don't know how many truckloads of trash from working with them.
Right. We do try to work with all of the departments. Obviously, some we have more of a relationship with other. Conservation, that unfortunately is a recurring issue that we have with illegal dumping in the town's conservation lands. Mashpee's fortunate that we have a lot of open space and conservation land. Unfortunately, we do get some folks that don't necessarily take care of it as much as we would hope. So
there's something else about Mashpee that I think you can expand on that the people should know. 40+% of our town has open space or conservation land to be used by people for walking and fishing and hiking, and yet people will go to the extent of dumping trash, and you folks are responsible for picking it up, and were there not thousands of pounds of trash picked up in the last couple of years?
Yes, I think, just this last year, we probably collected I'm going to say over 30 tons of material. And that is a cost not only in the labor for my staff in picking it up, but also disposal costs, whether we, bring it to our local transfer station or we end up having to bring it to the landfill in Bourne and pay a tip fee there. So, like I said, it's unfortunate that happens, but that is something that we work closely with police and conservation on.
And I know that you're involved in the trash recycling and all of that. How is
Yes.
that going, and how has that evolved over time?
Well, since I started 12 years ago, I don't know, for the long-term residents in town, recycling has made, I guess, huge strides. We used to have, as you remember, probably 10 different containers
Right.
that people had to separate their recyclables in for recycling,
Right.
and that was one of, I think, the biggest complaints we heard from residents was, the space that took and the time that took. We're now a single stream community, one of the few on the Cape that are single stream. So that's a big change. Obviously, the selectmen have been talking about SMART, save money as you recycle. And that's something that we're going to be talking about. We just signed a new long-term contract for disposal, at a better price than we anticipated, but still higher than what we're currently going to be paying. So really there's going to be a push to try to increase our recycling.
I'll throw another number at the residents. How many tons of trash does Mashpee generate?
At
on
our
an annual
local
basis?
transfer station, we dispose of about 3,600 tons of trash a year. We recycle general recyclables, your glass, your paper, your cardboard. It's only 800. So there still is definitely room for improvement.
What else you want the residents to know about? We were talking 150 miles of roads. We're talking about 36 tons of trash. We're talking about how much in recycling?
About 800.
So there's big numbers. 150 miles, stop signs, street lights. What do you do in your spare time? Or do you have any
If you
spare
ask my
time?
husband, I don't have any spare time.
So how many pieces of equipment do you have to maintain and keep here? And you take care of some of the other
We
vehicles.
actually, right, our garage facility, we now actually do maintain all of the town departments' vehicles. So it could be, the engines at the fire department, the cruisers at the police station. So in addition to our probably, 20 trucks that we have ourselves, you add all of those others that we're responsible for.
We also have the gas depot out here that saved us some money as well. Can you talk a little bit about how that came about?
Sure. I think Mashpee was actually late to the game on that one compared to most towns. But about 8 years ago, we dedicated the money to build the fuel depot. Before that, we went to the gas station like all of you do, like we do in our free time. So it's a 10,000 gallon tank that's split between unleaded fuel and diesel, and all of the town vehicles come in and fuel up here. And obviously there's a savings to buying that quantity of fuel rather than going to the local gas station.
Anything else you want us to leave with the residents before we summarize our conversation today?
Only that, I think in my department I have a very good dedicated staff of employees. There's, as I mentioned, around 35 to 40 of us working in the buildings, working on the roads. So you probably see them around. You may run into them at the grocery store or coach with them on football. But like I said, they're very dedicated. They take pride in the work that they do, and obviously that reflects well on my department and the town as a whole.
So for you residents who have tuned in, and I hope there's a few of you out there that do, one thing you learned today, something else about Mashpee is every time you get up in the morning and head out to go to work or go to school, you'll impact or you'll run across something that's been impacted by our DPW, whether it's stop signs or road signs or sidewalks or snow plowing or sweeping. And take some time to learn more about your DPW. Take some time to meet them and see who they are. And every once in a while, stop on the side of the road and say thanks for doing a good job. So that from Wayne and I, there's something else you know about Mashpee. Now you know more about Catherine Laurent and what she does for our town.
Thank you, Catherine, for being with us today.
My pleasure.